In my opinion, this is why you should not go to PoshFest and why I'm definitely not going this year. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark. Today I'm going to talk about PoshFest and why I'm not going this year and why maybe you shouldn't go either. I know it's been a topic of debate for many months now, as you know, the PoshFest tickets went on sale the last couple of months and people are getting excited to go. And this is the first year in a couple years that it's actually been fully in person. I know before the pandemic it was only in person, and then for the last 2 years it was virtual, and now this year they are finally doing it in person again. And I think it's in Houston, Texas. And so I kind of wanted to just talk about why I'm not going and why maybe you shouldn't go if you were kind of on the fence. And maybe this will kind of give you some insight on, you know, why someone who has never gone doesn't really want to go. Before we get started, I just want to preface this with, I've only ever gone to the virtual events. I've never actually gone in real life. I actually started reselling actually when the pandemic happened, and so for me there was never really the opportunity to go beforehand. I didn't really know about it before, and so I went in 2020 when I actually won free tickets from Poshmark. I won like a bundle to be able to get, you know, a PoshFest box, and then, you know, just to go to the events that were on YouTube and stuff. And then last year I actually purchased the swag box and attended for the first time virtually. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that experience, and maybe that also kind of explains why I don't really think it's worth going in person. But yeah, let's get right into the video. So the first reason that I'm not going, and it's kind of the main reason why, is just because you have to kind of pay for it yourself. And so it's not like, you know, if you're at a big company and they're paying for you to go somewhere for a conference. And while this is technically a business conference, especially for those that do this as a business, you could, I guess, you know, report it in taxes sake as a business expense. I don't want to do that, and nor do I plan to do that. But it's kind of expensive to pay for yourself. I think it's over $200 or maybe even $300. I'm not quite sure. And then plus, you know, travel there or hotels. I know they have a discounted rate for people that are going and they're signing up through the app for the Posh Ambassadors. But it's still quite expensive to spend a couple days there, and then plus you have to factor in any extra expenses that you're gonna have to travel around or, you know, to eat and stuff like that. So it all adds up and it will become quite expensive. And for someone that, you know, does this as a part-time job, who has a full-time job on the side of this, it's a lot of expenses to have, plus the fact that, like, I can't take off, you know, certain days at a time as, you know, somebody that does this full-time would be able to do. And so I would have to take off several days of work, which I technically could, but I don't think it's worth the expenses that I'm going to incur, and for the outcome that I'm going to get from going in person. So I just don't think the cost of it is worth what you're actually getting out of it. With that being said, a lot of the sessions that they host are actually posted on the YouTube channel, and they kind of stream them, and then you can probably find them on Instagram or through the Poshmark page directly. They normally host all the main events and post them on their YouTube channel. And so I think a lot of those events that have the, you know, what the new features are going to be, or key speakers that they have, or anything like that, that's all going to be recorded. And so you can kind of watch those sessions if you really did want to learn. The only thing that you're really going to miss in person is like the breakout sessions and like just, you know, mingling with new poshers and meeting other people. But again, I have done a lot of that, you know, through Instagram, through the Poshmark app itself, through TikTok, all the above. I've kind of met people and mingled with them, and I've done some Zooms maybe back like a year ago, and I actually met some people that way. And a lot of people do meetups in person depending on where they live, and maybe they do some thrift runs. But that's like kind of the only benefit that you really get, is being able to actually meet people in person. The second reason that I'm not really going is because I don't really want to have to go alone. I'm one of those people that doesn't like traveling alone or being alone, and going into an event where I don't really actually know anyone, I've never met anyone through the app in person, and I wouldn't really have a friend to go with. If I was to bring someone that wasn't really Posh related, like they aren't a reseller, they aren't on the app, I would have to incur that cost as well. I'm not going to make somebody else pay for their own adventure, and then also therefore I'm going to have, you know, double added cost. And so it's a little tricky when it comes to, you know, someone like me who's kind of on the introverted side. It's a little bit harder for someone like me to go because they are, you know, they don't like being alone, they don't like traveling alone. And so that kind of right there kind of deterred me a little bit, knowing that I'd have to go alone and knowing that if I did bring someone, I would have to pay for their expenses. And the next reason why I'm not going is just because I went last year to like the virtual event, like I mentioned earlier in the video, and I got out a decent amount. I was able to kind of watch the sessions online at my own time. I didn't have to spend a whole weekend, you know, traveling there. I could just join the sessions when they were live, and then when they had like the breakout sessions, I even attended some of those, but then I would do other things in the background if I had other things going on. And then I also was able to just, you know, see what they were posting on the Instagram page, see what they were posting on the Poshmark app. They normally like try to keep things up to date. So like when they announce the new features on PoshFest, they will do it on their Instagram and the Poshmark app itself. So like you could kind of just see when they're posting it. So like it's not like you're gonna get it delayed. It's not like you're gonna get it like several months later. You're gonna see it right then and there when they're posting it. So you can do it at the convenience of your own time, and you don't have to travel there and waste all that time and, you know, spend all that money when you can get it right away on the app. So all in all, this is why I'm not going to PoshFest, and this is why maybe you shouldn't as well. You have to think of the business cost that goes into it and the time that goes into it, and maybe if it was in a location that was a little bit closer to me, or maybe if, you know, I knew other people that were on the app already and I didn't have to travel alone, and maybe if it wasn't so expensive and I felt like I was really going to get something out of it, then maybe I would go in the future. I just know that they haven't really held it anywhere near where I live in recent years. I'm actually in New Jersey, and I've known that they've hosted it in Florida, and now they're hosting it in Texas. So it's not really anywhere close to me. I think actually they also hosted it in Denver. I remember seeing that somewhere. So if they hosted it somewhere, maybe like New York or New Jersey area, then maybe I would definitely give it a shot. But again, for the cost, for the, you know, having to travel that far, it just didn't really seem worth it to me. I'm curious if any of you are going to PoshFest, or if you've ever gone to PoshFest and you thought it was worth it, or if you didn't think it was worth it. So comment that down below. I'd love to hear, you know, your stories. And I mean, as much as I would love to meet some of you, because there's so many people that I've connected with through Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and also the Poshmark app. There's so many of you that I've connected with, and I would love to meet you all, but maybe one day, you know, that will be possible. So this was a really quick video compared to, you know, my prior videos, but it was just a topic that I really wanted to talk about because I know so many people have been kind of on the fence or not sure if they should go. And I know a lot of people I connected with on Instagram were, you know, asking me if I was going. They were excited to meet other people, but a lot of the people were kind of in the same boat as me, as they weren't sure if it was worth it, or if they weren't sure if, you know, they were gonna miss anything if they didn't go live. So that's why I wanted to kind of just make this video real quick to kind of show everybody my thoughts on it and what I think. But yeah, if you want to see other videos, I actually recently did one where it's the things that you shouldn't do on Poshmark and something that can get you banned. So if you want to watch that, you can click right here. And if you want to watch what my best and worst sales were on Poshmark, you can click right here. And if you like this video, please feel free to subscribe for more. And until next time, I'll see you then.